Well, uh, what is sleep? Anyways, um, there's only 4 games on tonight, so I won't be doing timestamps on today's video because there's only 4 games on tonight. This shouldn't take very long, considering who's playing who. The 26th, 30, and 11. Change that angle. The 26, 30, and 11 Detroit Red Wings will be in Columbus against the 35, 28, and 5 Columbus Blue Jackets. The Red Wings are 2-6 and 2 in their last 10. They've lost their last 5. Columbus is 6 and 4 in their last 10. They've won their last 3, and they're 35, 28, and 5 overall. A story worth pointing out is Dylan Larkin in Detroit, who has 67 games played, 9 goals, 40 assists, 49 points. He is number one in on their team in scoring. He only has 9 goals, but he has 180 shots. So eventually, something has to start going in for him. Once the goals start going in, Larkin will be roughly point a game. I would say next season he should be primed for a 70, 75 point season. Uh, Not a lot is being said about Pierre-Luc Dubois in Columbus, but in 68 games he's got 15 goals, 22 assists, and 37 points. He is slowly being brought along, and I honestly think the kid is going to become a pretty decent player. One video idea I've had percolating for a while is looking at players who've been playing for a while in the NHL and looking ones who had great rookie years and couldn't follow it up, ones who had lousy rookie years statistically and became really good. And I was going to do one on players who really slowly became who they are now, like Michael Backlund in Calgary, who it took him years to develop into the player that he is now. Um, Speaking of which, Backlund and the Flames will be in Ottawa tonight. The Flames are 33, 25, and 10, and they are desperately looking for a playoff spot right now. They're 3, 5, and 2 in their last 10. Of course, they won their last game, which was in Buffalo, and this is also a must-win for them. Ottawa's 23, 32, and 11. They're 3, 5, and 2 in their last 10. They lost their last game, which was against, right, Buffalo. Stone is the story for me with Ottawa. Ottawa's Stone has played 57 games, 20 goals, 42 assists, 62 points. Hamilton has been a story goals-wise on the blue line. 68 games, 15 goals, 24 assists, 39 points. And of course, Hamilton was there were some bad things said about him on a hot microphone. Basically, an announcer not happy with him during last year's playoffs. I think he's had a very good season considering the controversy that surrounds the way he plays defense. Or in some cases, some people don't think he plays very solid defense at all. Um, but it's worth noting. But this is a game that Calgary has to win because the teams ahead of them just aren't falling back. And this team here, Colorado, for instance, has been playing relatively well lately as well. Even in losses, they're still getting points. So for the Flames, they have to keep getting points and putting pressure on them. The Ducks, 34, 22, and 12. They're 7, 2, and 1 in their last 10. They lost their last game. They're in Dallas against the Stars, who are 37, 24, and 6. They're 4, 4, and 2 in their last 10, and they lost their last 2. Statistically, Andre Kasha is worth mentioning for Anaheim. 52 games, 17 goals, 14 assists, 31 points. He's always very prominent anytime I watch the Ducks. He's made me a big fan of his game over the last year. Matthias Janmark in Dallas. He's played 67 games this year, 17 goals, 15 assists, 32 points. Janmark is a very solid top 9 forward. I don't know if he's ever going to be a solid top 6 necessarily, but he's a guy you can throw out on your second or third line and not get hurt. I like Janmark's two-way game a lot as well. And the last game of the night is Minnesota in Vancouver. The Wild are 38, 22, and 7. They're 7, 2, and 1 in their last 10. They've won their last 2. Jason Zucker is the one worth mentioning in Minnesota because in 67 games he's got 28 goals, 26 assists, 54 points, which statistically is pretty darn good. The Vancouver Canucks have some more statistical issues than does Minnesota. Vancouver's 25, 33, and 9 overall. They're 3, 4, and 3 in their last 10. They lost their last game. Daniel Sedin's worth pointing out only because the Sedins were kind of left for dead early in the year. Daniel's got 66 games played, 21 goals, 25 assists, 25 assists, 46 points. So another 20-goal season for Daniel. But it does underline part of the problem for the Canucks that they've had to play the Sedins more than intended due to injuries. And there's a mobility issue when you got the Sedins on the ice a lot, and they had them with Jokinen as a line. I don't know, all I could think was UC Jokinen with the Sedins. I do wonder if that might be the slowest line in the league without trying to be mean to them or to the Canucks. But it's got to be up there. If I had to pick winners for tonight, I would say Columbus, only because Detroit has fallen 4 games below 500, which they don't normally do, and they are on a back-to-back. I like Dallas's odds against Anaheim, which means take Anaheim. Anaheim's on a back-to-back as well, but Dallas has been underwhelming lately, and it'll be Latinen tonight against probably Gibson. None of the goalies have been confirmed at the time I'm doing this, but I would say probably a Dallas win. I don't take Ottawa to win games. I take probably Calgary because they need the win more. Ottawa's just playing out the string, and it is harder for Ottawa. Stone's had a good year, 57 games, 20, 42, 62. But it's hard to find guys who statistically have been really solid all year. Carlson's playing better lately. Carlson's back up to 50 points. He won't be in the talks for the Norris, but he has been putting up the points over the last 20 games. I do still have concerns with Carlson that he played through an injury, and I always have concerns when a player does that it's going to affect them later in their career. And of course, I would take Minnesota over Vancouver. This is a game that Yvonne and I were thinking about going to tonight, but just the logistics of Friday being a really busy day for us in the first place, it's just not going to work. But tickets for this game tonight are cheap. So if you're a Minnesota fan living in Vancouver, or if you're a Canucks fan that just wants to go see a game and you haven't been to a game in a while, this might be the one to catch. The cheapest tickets on the Canucks website are at $49, but they're cheaper than that if you go through a reseller website. The cheapest game overall is going to be the season finale, which is against Arizona. I can't see myself going to that one either, based on how that last game between those two teams was. I just can't see myself going to it. Anyways, there you go. There's the 4 games for tonight. You guys can pick your winners. Again, we don't know the starting goalies tonight, but I came up with a statistical thing that we could throw up on the board. We could discuss ourselves. What's your feel-good story out of these 8 teams? And it does get trickier to find one with some of the teams that are at or near the bottom of the league. But they're still there to be found. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And thank you guys very much for watching. I now get to go to work. And I'm at work until 1:30 in the afternoon. I won't be home until roughly probably 2:30 or maybe even later if I stop by the mall on the way home. Anyways, so there you go. I will be able to watch these 4 games tonight. If I had to pick a game of the night, probably Anaheim and Dallas. But thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.